What's up, guys? It's Justin from Justin Uncaged, and in this video, we're going to break down exactly what I believe happened to McGregor at UFC 329. We're going to dispel all of the conspiracy theories out there and talk about perhaps one or two pieces of conspiracy theory that are probably likely true in some way. Not fully, maybe partially, maybe a little bit. Again, we're going to go through some of this stuff and actually talk about what really happened and dispel all some of the crazy stuff out there that I don't think actually happened at all, but a lot of people are saying. So let's just talk real quickly, and we're going to watch some of the footage too, and then the latest updates as well, because it is looking more promising from some of the things that we've just recently heard from McGregor about his return. But before we dive into those things, I want to talk about his reaction immediately and then following, and then we'll break down some of the video between. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button now for more videos just like this, incredible MMA content, breakdowns, all kinds of conspiracies, gossip, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to call it in terms of MMA and the MMA world, the UFC, and the fighting talk. So first things first, my head gasket is gone, destroyed. I had no injuries going into the fight. I was throwing kicks, planted and jumping all throughout the camp, as well as backstage before the fight. As we can all see, we all saw, a lot of those kicks in backstage footage. That's all true from what we can tell. This came out of nowhere. I am beyond dark here. So that's his first post. I can only describe it as hell. It's pretty intense. That was his first post right after it all happened. And from there, like, that's the worst of the worst. We all kind of feared, if you're a McGregor fan, and I guess I know some of you guys hate McGregor, and that's okay. That's your right too. I don't get all the hate. I don't understand it all fully. I actually was at a bar recently, just after the fight, a few days after the fight, and I coincidentally ran into some Irish, like actual Irish people born in Ireland that were visiting the US. And I just happened to mention, like, not even thinking about it, like, oh, did you see the fight the other day? You guys McGregor fans? And there was like, it wasn't even just one group of them, like all friends. It was like a couple different Irish people there. Weirdly enough, I think they were in town for like the World Cup or whatever. They're just like coming to the town to watch it. But anyways, there was like several groups of them, and every single Irish person I talked to that night hates McGregor. I think some of the older people like him still, but a lot of Ireland has turned on McGregor, sadly. And I think it's kind of messing with McGregor's head, to be honest. I think that's kind of a part of it. Even in like the weigh-ins and all this other stuff, and people would fly. Like, he'd have like tens of thousands of people show up to his fights every time he had a fight because they all loved him. The whole country of Ireland was behind him. Now it's like at least half or more than half of the country despises him, and he lost a lot of his own fan base. But anyways, that was the first tweet. Crazy. This is the following one, which is a little more positive, talking about his return. I will overcome this. I will not be deterred. I will return. So that's a good thing. He's on the upswing. This is his birthday video he posted. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. Come on. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. We'll be back. Let's go. Let's go. I know. To me, he does seem like a bit of a tortured man. I think he did a lot of messed up things in his past. I think he knows he's out of his prime. I think he knows he lost the fire a bit. I think he knows he lost his skills. I think he knows he's not the man anymore. He's not like the best, most popular fighter in the UFC anymore. And I think he's dealing with sort of like a midlife crisis when you're on such a high. You're the man, like the coolest guy in the world for 10 years. And then you just kind of like lose it overnight, and you're trying to do the right things, but you seem like life is just harder nowadays than it was 10 years ago. And it's almost like he's trying to do the right things, but like the world isn't rewarding him. So it's like, it's very hard to be in that spot where like you're doing all the things right, and you're working on yourself as a man, as a person, as a family man, as a father, as a husband, going to church. and it's like it's not paying off, and I think that's what's like hurting him the most. And of course he has that temptation to go party and drink and do drugs and all these things. I'm sure he still has that going on as well. So it's like he said in one of his posts, he's staring the devil in the eyes. It's like it's very tough to deal with this type of thing. And then you make this incredible comeback after an extraordinary injury to your leg, and then your knee blows out in the first fucking couple of seconds of the first round. I mean, it's wild, you know. It's a hard thing to go through, but so this is what he's talking about now. He's getting his results tomorrow. I like this tweet though that he said, I'll have the results for the scan on my leg tomorrow. The fight should be a no contest, all bets return. Now, does he actually think that that's going to return all bets? Probably not, but it is genuinely a good thing to say for all the people that are pissed off, that bet on that fight, that lost a lot of money on them. However, I say, if you looked at my video last week when I made the predictions, I say you're a moron if you bet on McGregor. Holloway has been at the top of his game for the past 5 years, fighting the best of the best and winning most of those fights. McGregor has been on a lot of like drug binges and coke binges and, you know, hooking up with crazy people and partying binges. It's just like he's been living a wild life. I praise him for his return and his dedication to come back and fixing or trying to fix a lot of these things. But you have to be a moron to have thought he was going to win that fight. Now, obviously, we didn't really get to see the fight, but if you're upset that the guy blew his knee out in the first minute of the first round, that's on you. He's coming up on 40 years old, hasn't fought in 5 years, already had a blown out leg, already had a blown out knee. I mean, yeah, lightning can strike, and he always has that power. He always has that, you know, ability to knock people out. But if you put a lot of money on McGregor thinking he was going to win, you're a moron. You kind of deserve to lose that, you know? So I don't really feel bad for people in that sense. But I do think it's a nice thing to say, you know, for him to say all that. I think it's a good thing to say. So anyways, going back to the weigh-ins and stuff, he looked pretty dialed in right there. I never said he looked like he was back to his original form. There's something off with his energy the entire fight week. You could see it if you really look closely. But it was things like this, and then things like, where was it? It was like the energy right there that made people think, hey, oh, I gotta lower this. Hey, maybe he is back. Maybe maybe the old Conor is back and he can turn back the clock, the hands of time, and, you know, we're gonna see old McGregor back, old Mystic Mac. I get it. Like, we were hopeful, we were optimistic. We wanted him to be fully back. But what he really should have done, honestly, what the UFC should have done if they were smart and they wanted to, but who knows if they're really even trying to do this, but if they wanted to actually do that and help this guy reach the pinnacle of his career, you don't put a guy who's been out for 5 years against one of the top dogs like Max Holloway. You put him up, you put him in a tune-up fight. You put him against a guy like Michael Chandler, and that's what they originally had. And even though Chandler lost a couple of times, that would have been the perfect fight for McGregor to come back at. And in that fight, I actually would have bet on McGregor. I would have picked him as the favorite to win that. Against Holloway, though, I mean, the odds really should have been more like -4 or 500, and then like +3 or 400 for McGregor. Instead, they kept getting closer and closer, you know, as the fight got closer. And it's like, I think he was -220, 225 or something to close, Max Holloway, and that was insane. That, like, you bet on that all day long. As much as I wanted McGregor to win, you know, you still bet on Holloway. It's just it's a no-brainer. And here's where possibly everyone's saying with the knee. Everyone's seen this by now. It's that right knee though, right here. Fuck that up. So he obviously, that wasn't, to me, that wasn't just a losing your balance type of thing. To me, that's it doesn't feel quite right thing for a second, and let me just like not put my weight on it. Like, he definitely tweaked something a little bit right there. But so the thing is, I think he actually did have an injury. I just think it was like a minor tweak of, say, the meniscus. That's my guess. I think it was a minor tweak of the meniscus, and he was kind of working it out in the locker room and doing those kicks and stuff, and he felt pretty good on it. And I'm going to show you in a second too, his walkout. Where is it? Oh, damn, I had it. So his walkout actually, like right there, this is his walkout. He looks pretty normal. Like he doesn't look fully like McGregor, like old McGregor. But right there, he's smiling a little bit. He is more dialed in. He's way more like relaxed and calm. All those things are completely true. I think in the back of his mind, he's dealing with all these nerves. He's been out for 5 years. He's nervous himself, you know, as much as he's trying not to be. I think he's trying to calm himself down and knowing that this could be a long fight against a durable, resilient fighter like Max, who goes 5 rounds all the time. He doesn't want to exhaust himself. He doesn't want to do too much movements and get crazy and burn himself out in the first round and then get completely destroyed. I think he's more nervous in his head about gassing out and then looking like a complete fool and getting TKO'd in the first or second round by Max. And that's why he's like super nervous. He hasn't been on the big screen for 5 years. All his Irish fans are, you know, all of them, most of them, a lot of them have turned on him. He's just like in a weird place mentally. Out for 5 years, broken leg, all his fans turn on him. He had the SA assault case against him, which didn't go his way, which was a big reason why a lot of those Irish fans turned on him. 5 years out of the game, he's already someone who's going to get super hyped anyways for his fights. There's millions of people watching, tons of people all show up just for him. Highest gate in UFC history. There's a lot of pressure on that. 30 million or so they're saying he got for this fight. There's all kinds of pressure. He's also working on like his last contract fight. He's got one more left, so that's a big thing as well. I think he was trying to calm himself down. And he's got this new outlook on life. He's this new, like, holy Christian man. He's sober. He's all these things. He's not this wild man anymore like he once was. He's trying to, it's to me, it's more of a identity crisis and certainly a lack of confidence. Not like fully zero confidence, but a lack of confidence from where he was. And if you have any bit of lack of confidence from where you are when you were McGregor at the peak, like unbelievably confident, the contrast is going to be so incredibly like obvious that it makes it look even worse than it actually is. But I mean, you can see right here, he doesn't even look that bad. But after that little thing with the knee, which we just showed a minute ago, wherever the hell it was, right here, after this thing right here outside the cage, and don't get me wrong, he was certainly off walking to the cage. He wasn't 100% Conor, but it wasn't quite as bad when I look back at it as like we kind of originally thought, again, because of that contrast. But then after that, here he is in the ring. And this actually looks pretty bad. Like from this point, he's like breathing heavy already, like a deep breath right there. He's looking around. He doesn't look at Max really. See, he's kind of like looking around. With these other ones, when it's about to be face off, he's dialing right in on his opponent, super focused. He's still a madman, but he's very dialed in. This is more like he's like kissing, but like you can tell he's not emoting much. There's not much emotion going on, you know? I think he might have tweaked that knee. I think there was something a little bit before. Everybody always has something. I think there was a little bit something in that knee before. I think he tweaked it right when he took off his shoe, and he like kind of lost even more confidence in that ring. And he's like, shit, let me just go for broke. If I can go for this jump kick and land it, you know, I'll be good because I know my knee's strong. If I don't land it, I'm screwed. And I think he did sort of bow out after that second time, after he fell after the second time. I think he realized that he wasn't winning that fight. The odds are already stacked against him. 5 rounds against Max with a compromised knee within the first minute of the first round. You're not winning that. I don't care who you are. You're not winning that fight. And I think he actually did the right thing and bowed out. If he kept fighting, he would have had a way worse injury and probably would have been the end of the career. So it's like at this point in his life, he's got to make the smart decision. And the smart decision at that point, after tearing that most likely meniscus, possibly still an ACL in that first few seconds, after tearing that fully or whatever it's going to be, the right decision was to call that fight. I don't think there was a big conspiracy. I don't think it was, you know, some people are saying it was acted out. Max was in on it. It was a WWE. It's UFC's rig. It's just, that's all nonsense to me. Is it possible? Sure. 1%, less than 1% possible. Sure. Absolutely. Anything's possible. I just don't see it. I do not see that being a real thing. And to me, more so, it's the nerves and it's the fact that he had a little bit of something going in there on the knee and he tweaked it with that shoe thing. and totally screwed it up. Totally fucked it up when he did that flying kick. Was it the smartest move to do that? No, obviously. But I think he wanted to just kind of get it over with and see if he could land on that knee and be all right. And that's what happened. Here it is again. Seen this a million times by now. Boom. There it is. Blows it out. Wants to feel it. And that's why he threw that second kick too, because everyone's saying, oh, he would have never thrown that second kick. That was so dumb. He threw the second kick because you've seen it so many times. You've seen it so many times in UFC fights. The guys will do something in the moment where it's like so dumb in hindsight, but in the moment it makes sense because they're like, in that moment, they want to feel it out. Can I still use this? Is my knee still good? I just tweaked it. Let me see if it's still actually okay. Let me just, yeah, see? He's trying to feel it out. Dumb move, obviously, but he was trying to feel it out and see if he could actually perform with it. And again, here's his notes from today. I have results of the scan on my leg tomorrow, so later today. The fight should be a no contest. At this point, like, I don't disagree with that statement. I like that he said the statement, but at this point, I don't think they're going to overturn anything. Like trying to give people their money back or trying to take away, more importantly, money from people who won on Max Holloway. It's like, I don't think you can actually pull that off, you know? I think the only way you can really do that is if you hold the bets. You know, you hold the money from either going out or coming in after the result, and then like maybe within 24 hours they can figure it out. But here it is, like half a week, you know, 4 or 5 days later. I don't think it's possible to get money back from people or to give people their money back. To give people their money back is actually easier in a sense, but to get money back that you already gave out to the people who won betting on Max, I think that's pretty much impossible. Not impossible, but you know what I mean. Very unlikely. So that's what I think really happened. I do think there was something going on before the fight, but a lot of fighters are dealing with something. It's not like a scam. That's not fraud. A lot of fighters are fighting through these things. I think he was pretty good. You could see the kicks in the locker room. He was looking pretty sharp in the locker room with them kicks. He come out. He's super, super nervous, understandably. He's walking to the ring, takes his shoe off, tweaks whatever that pre-existing thing was, irritates it a little bit more. That's why he kind of was ginger on it. Goes into the ring. All of a sudden, the nerves really pick up because now he's worried about everything else. Plus the knee, he just kind of tweaked a little bit or aggravated. And then he runs in and throws that kicks and completely tweaks it, tears it, whatever you want to call it. And that's what really happened. I think he felt terrible. You could see him in the ring. He almost broke down and cried, held himself together and just walked out of there as quickly as he could. Didn't even want to do the interview. I get it. I get it why a lot of people are pissed. You know, I get why a lot of people are saying it's rigged. But then again, a lot of people say a lot of stupid shit. You know, all the Jake Paul fights were rigged. It's like, dude, come on. You're telling me Tyron Woodley is going to face plant and going to take a dive? You're telling me Anderson Silva is going to take a dive against Jake Paul? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And then Tommy Fury like barely gets a win against him, and that was somehow rigged too. And Mike Perry is going to take a dive against Jake Paul, and Nate Diaz is going to take it. This is just so stupid. Those fights aren't rigged. He's a talented guy. He's got talent, and he's been boxing with some of the best trainers and, you know, conditioning protocols of the last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it's been now. And he's a pretty big guy fighting guys 30, 40 pounds smaller than him. Obviously, it's going to be in his favor. And he's super young compared to all these guys who are over the hill. A lot of them anyways. Like the Jake Paul thing has always blown my mind. That shit is not rigged. There are things that are rigged. That's not one of them. So the same thing with this. I really, really don't think this is rigged. I just don't see it. The guy blew his knee out. Injuries happen. Injuries happen a lot more when you're 5 years out of the game. You've already had a history of having injuries, and it's your first fight back. These things happen. Anyways, like I said before, hit the subscribe button now if you to subscribe to the channel to get more videos just like this. And we'll be putting out more content very soon. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon.